Breaking news, Scott Morrison has just spoken about the furore over his secret appointments to ministries during the pandemic. Let's hear it.
What have you made of the controversy over the last 24 hours?
Well, I think sometimes we forget what was happening 2 years ago. And the situation we were dealing with, it was a very unprecedented time. It wasn't a conventional time. And as a result, they were very unconventional times. And, you know, for example, we had Boris Johnson, who almost died one night. I remember that night very vividly. I was very concerned he wouldn't be with us in the morning. We had ministers back in March who, you know, went down with COVID, and Peter Dutton was out for some time. And so we were dealing with quite extraordinary circumstances. And as a result, we had to consider some rather unconventional, well, I wouldn't even say that because I understand on occasions things like this can happen, but we had to take some extraordinary measures to put safeguards in place. Unfortunately, Ben, none of these in the case of the finance and the health portfolio ever were required to be used. And they were there as a safeguard, they were there as a redundancy, because both of the powers in those portfolios, they weren't overseen by cabinet. So the minister himself, and in both cases, had powers that few, if any, ministers in our Federation's history were having. On finance, there was massive financial delegations that were available specifically to the minister, and with the health minister, there were the powers of the Biosecurity Act, and it was prudent. Two-key approach, like you have on a nuclear submarine, actually, when the nuclear weapons are deployed, you have two keys as to how these things are done. So it was a safeguard in terms of how we were making decisions in a fairly extraordinary time.